Good morning, everyone. My name is Yotam Hod. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Gynica. First, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to be here today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be here yesterday due to the fact that we've presented and participated in a conference in Oxford, which was important enough to not miss. But I'm very glad to be here and not be quarantined as well. And today I'm going to present you with Gynica, which focuses on clinically validated cannabinoids-based products in the field of women's health and the journey that we've been through in the past few years. Gynica aims to improve the quality of life and gynecological women well-being of women across the globe and is led by global leaders from multidisciplinary fields such as gynecology, cannabinoids, clinical trial management, pharmacology, etc. I can mention just a few names, such as Professor Lumir Hanush, who serves on our board, who happened to be discovered the first endocannabinoid back in 1992, as well as Professor Moshe Hod, the president of the European Association of Perinatal Medicine and a key opinion leader in the field of women's health. In the past 3 years, we've been focused and running studies aimed to provide solutions for undertreated disorders such as menstrual pain, painful intercourse, endometriosis, and others. But at first, you might ask yourselves, what does cannabis have to do with women's health at all? So we need to understand that the female reproductive system actually has the highest concentration of endocannabinoids, or specifically anandamide. As I mentioned, by the way, was discovered by Professor Hanush from our team. Now, in addition to that, there's a lot of historical evidence and data about the use of cannabinoids to treat different women's health and gynecological conditions, all the way from ancient Mesopotamia to China, Syria, Persia, and so on. And even, funny enough, Queen Victoria, who received cannabis tinctures to use for her severe menstrual pain. But these understandings, both the scientific and the historical ones, brought us to realize that there is an enormous potential for treating different gynecological conditions. And as for that, we are bringing pharmaceutical standards into the medical cannabis and the CBD markets. Now, we already see that mostly in the US markets, there are already an enormous amount of different products that are aimed at gynecological conditions. Not only of that, many of them receive wonderful feedbacks, truly. We see hundreds and thousands of women who are using such products to treat different conditions and symptoms. Both for the pain relieving effects, for the anti-inflammatory effects. Yet, one thing, would I dare giving it to my wife? I must say that the answer is no. And what's behind it is the fact that no one knows whether they are safe or not. I mean, when we speak about smoking, vaping, and so on, the safety profiles of them are quite well known. But when we speak about intravaginal use, who knows if it's safe or not? I mean, I can mention, for example, that, does it affect fertility? Do we know that? We know, for example, that THC in high doses might impair ovulation. Moreover, it can also cause pre-implantation events. And due to that, we've realized that there are several unmet needs, both in the cannabis market in general and in the women's health field in specifics. First of all, in regards to the best strains, what strains are we using for each condition, or certain cannabinoid compositions for each condition? What mode of administration or delivery method is the most suitable for each and every condition or symptom? High THC. Another issue, as I mentioned, might affect fertility. Most of society is not even aware of it, especially for women in fertile ages. It needs to be put out there and discussed, but we're neglecting such issues. Safety, toxicity, I mentioned earlier as well. We simply don't know. And in the end as well, the lack of standardization, the fact that we can buy a certain product that works well today, but next month if I want to buy the same exact product, it's not necessarily going to, although it might be named the same, it's not going to be the exact same product. And as for that, Gynica's solution is focused on evidence-based, safe, standardized, and easy-to-use products. And this is what brought us to actually build our current pipeline, which is currently focused on 2 proprietary products. A vaginal suppository, which contains a slow release mechanism, again, bringing pharmaceutical standards to such medical cannabis product and the market itself, as well as a lubricating gel that is aimed for painful intercourse. This product actually contains a quick onset mechanism, which we also know is quite a challenge when we speak about cannabis-based products. Not sure if I mentioned, but our vaginal suppository is aimed mostly towards menstrual pain and other endometriosis-related symptoms. And I would like to present you and give you a taste of what we did in the past few years and the process that we've been through. And what does it even mean to do evidence-based product development? So at first, we've started actually with a wide variety of cannabis strains, working with a variety of providers, including from Tikkun Olam, our strategic partners who are also represented here, Barry, their CEO, Avinoam. We took a lot of cannabis strains and started extracting them both in different analytical methods and separating them into different fractions of ingredients, cannabinoids, terpenoids, flavonoids, other polyphenols, and grouping them into different combinations and testing them in preclinical in vitro models. Those in vitro models, which showcase certain results, allowed us to create a feedback loop that gave us actually, or allowed us to take a step forward again and use the optimal combinations, fine-tune them, get to other compositions, fine-tune the dosages between them, the concentrations of ingredients, up until we received the optimal combination and dose between different ingredients. So after arriving to the most optimal response, it allowed us to define those compositions and then leverage those and formulate them into an end product and delivery method. Because when we speak about combinations of ingredients, we then need to plug them in and use them in an end product that contains the other non-actives or carriers around them. So this brought us to have our suppository and lubricating gel in place up until we used it in preclinical in vivo safety and efficacy studies, meaning animal studies. Those animal studies actually allowed us to test their safety and toxicity before using in humans. And we believe that this is the right path to go. And although, you know, some would ask, okay, you see all kinds of products already sold in the market, start selling, generating revenues. We believe that the right way to do so is by, first of all, bringing evidence. And this evidence needs to be, first of all, based on safety and toxicity. Our next phase, which we are now entering, is the clinical phase. We're going to run 2 clinical studies, global first of their kind, in this coming year. One is a phase 1 safety and toxicity studies on women, while we already have in hand full protocols to run and awaiting approvals to run a phase 2A study for endometriosis-related symptoms, which includes both menstrual pain, painful intercourse, and other sub-symptoms. Now, I would like to just touch very briefly in our deeper scientific work and give you a glimpse of why it's so crucial to bring the right standards and the proper scientific measures in order to match specific compounds or extracts or combinations of ingredients to match them to specific conditions. And as for example, you can find here just one example of a study we ran, a preclinical study on COX-1 and COX-2. These are actually pain models relevant specifically for menstrual pain. And just what I wanted to show you here is the fact that the same exact ingredients in 2 different ratios actually brought completely different and some are even contradicting results. And this is why it's very important as well to identify and and fine-tune the optimal both ingredients and then their dosages and exact amounts in order to get to an optimal solution. Now, another example would be an IL-6. IL-6 is actually an inflammatory marker relevant to other women's health conditions. And what I can show you here is the fact that not only testing the different isolates that includes both cannabinoids, flavonoids, terpenes, and so on, we were able to showcase, and it was discussed earlier today, that the synergistic effects of cannabinoids and other ingredients definitely are there. And as you can see, a specific combo here showcases a significant reduction in those inflammatory markers. And these two slides, actually, their purpose was to showcase the importance of choosing the right compounds and the right candidates in order to treat specific conditions. These studies actually allowed us to receive a patent for two of our combinations, Gene 202 and 203. By the way, one containing THC, the other one doesn't, and this is also related to the regulatory pathway that we're pursuing. Some of our combinations are going to the medical cannabis markets, while the other ones are going to the, I would say, non-medical, such as CBD and wellness markets as well. Last example I would like to showcase as well as about the importance of the formulation, which, as I mentioned, this is the ingredients that are not active, or the carriers around the active ingredients. And what I wanted to showcase you here is the fact that we were able to show in a study we ran last year, as far as we know, global first of its kind animal study, to test how cannabinoids affect when used vaginally. You can see actually that standard extract in orange, when used intravaginally, reaches its peak in the bloodstream after around an hour. And then after 2 hours, pretty much barely nothing left. While with our formulations, and I will focus on the gray one because this is the leading candidate that we found, we were able to showcase that with unique formulatory technologies and advantage, we are able to showcase an 8-hour constant effect. And this is very relevant, especially when we speak about suppositories, as for the fact that we would like to provide it to patients to be able to use it for only once throughout the days and not need to exchange it 2, 3, 4 times a day. This is the end of my scientific side. I would just like to mention our strategic partners, as I mentioned earlier, Tikkun Olam, who are our medical cannabis partners in Israel, as well as Altman Health, the Israeli leader in over-the-counter and supplements, who are our partners in the non-THC product line. And with this, I will finish up and would like to thank you all for the opportunity to be here. I would be very happy to answer any question or discuss the topic of both cannabinoids and women's health, as well as evidence-based development in cannabis. And I thank you all for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you.